Welcome to the Underground, my little underground with Peter A.
My little underground, I'm Peter A. Glad to welcome back Samantha Campanile from Sadlands, and you may remember her from My Little Underground about 4 years ago. She was on the show talking with her other band, Answering Machine, and today she's talking up the debut self-titled EP from Sadlands, and we also talked about balancing music and career, new music in the works from Sadlands, and so much more with Samantha Campanile right here on My Little Underground.
My Little Underground.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, anytime. And, we'll get into Sadlands in a second, but you have a lot of, other projects too. You have your solo stuff and an Answering Machine. Is the Answering Machine still up and running? I know you guys haven't done a show since like July.
Yeah, so it's a little bit slower now, but we are playing Fest in a few weeks. So we're really excited for that. And we'll just kind of see. We kind of take it slow because we kind of spread out all over the state now. So it's a little hard to coordinate.
It's a geographical thing. Got it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that you've had other projects is not weird to me because JD has his own stuff too, so it's not uncommon. Every band has other projects or what have you, but your solo stuff, and you did a cover of Bad Luck, which I absolutely love. Is there any more legs to more solo Samantha stuff?
I think so. I think with time, I had originally started the solo thing and I was playing a lot of shows because Answering Machine couldn't play certain shows. Like we couldn't all do it at the same time. So I ended up just offering solo shows where I just played acoustic. And then I was going to start a whole project with it and like record a bunch of stuff. But in that moment, Lewis and I ended up, starting Sadlands. So a lot of my time has gone toward getting Sadlands up and running. So, with time, I'll definitely record more stuff solo because it's so much fun.
So Sadlands, as far as your creative projects are concerned, this is your primary focus.
Right now, I think it is because it's just local. Lewis and I, Lewis from Answering Machine, we both really wanted to play something like a little bit more frequently. And, when everybody's local, it's easier to play shows. And we wanted to do like a couple things differently. So, yeah.
What are some things, because every project is different. Every artist has different styles and what have you when they do other endeavors. What is something different that you wanted to achieve or create with Sadlands that you haven't done for any other project? It doesn't have to be Answering Machine, just in general.
I think just in general, having two female vocalists is so cool. Jess and I have really different styles too, but they somehow go together really well. I also picked up guitar. I was mainly vocals and then decided I was going to pick up an electric guitar and see how it goes. So it's been since about a year and some change, since like last September, I think was like our first practice. I have like learned a lot. I felt like the only way I was going to be able to like really play and get better, it was to just throw myself in the fire and see how it goes.
Yeah. And I when I went to go see you guys at the release show at Trans Pecos, I noticed Jess was doing some solos. So is that kind of her role as far as guitar playing is concerned? Because you're right about the vocals. Like she has a more raw style and you're more, crisp and clean. And yeah, if that's accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. Jess is such an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
And I'm actually learning a lot from her as well. But yeah, she can just like rip these solos that are amazing. So I'm like, yes, let's do a solo here. This is perfect.
Yes. And it's cool to see like Sadlands is a project of like women in the front, like right in the front. We're here. And I love that.
Yeah. We have this joke because we also gave Lewis a mic. So he's singing a lot of backups and we were, kind of pressuring him to be like right in the middle in the front of the stage. And he's like, I don't want to be in the middle. So I think we're all going to trade off where we stand throughout time. But
Sadlands is very diplomatic. I like that.
Yeah, of course.
That's really good. Well, what are some other things you've learned from working with Jess?
Just, I mean, just working with her in general, like the way she plays guitar is so cool. The harmonies that we work on together are really awesome. I love her song structures. Like I'm learning a lot from the way she writes songs. Right now, I feel like our formula is that like I'll write a song and then we'll all work on it together, and then Jess will pitch us a song. We'll work on it together, and I'm kind of looking forward to us like from scratch building like a song at like collectively, so I'm really excited to start. We're kind of ready to start writing again, after we just put out our EP. So I'm excited to write like with the whole band in general, like start from scratch. And I usually pitch like a song with chords. Like I'll write a folk song and be like, okay, let's play this. But yeah. So
There's a few things on songwriting that I want to cover in a second, but I one more thing on Jess. She did the album art for the EP, right?
yes, she did.
I think it's phenomenal. I think it's tremendous and it's eye catching.
Yeah.
And did she do the design for this shirt too?
Yes, she did. She did.
Oh, sweet, sweet. And this is Bruce Springsteen inspired, right?
Yes, it is. The name of the band is too. So we thought it'd
Okay,
be really funny. Jess thought it'd be really funny to just like rip off the, the Bruce Springsteen picture, and it's really awesome.
that's
So
cool.
we're lucky to have her to like do the art for it too.
Yeah, yeah. Um, as far as your creative relationship, because I know the Sadlands is made up of people from all different types of local New York groups, and how did you two kind of come together?
So Lewis and I were actually at like a party. Ellen and the Degenerates
Yes.
band. So Elena from Ellen and the Degenerates, she had like a birthday show, and Jess knew Elena, and she was playing like just solo at the show. And Lewis and I saw her, and we had been like in the beginnings of like thinking about starting something, some kind of project. And we were like, we have to get her in on this. And then Harley, who's the drummer of the band, I've known him for a really long time I met him at Fest, and he's played in a bunch of bands. He like will play drums for Rebuilder a lot. And he's played Fest so many years. And I just was like, I know a drummer. He had just moved to New York. So it was exciting to get everybody together.
Yeah, it's a super group in a way. That's great.
Yeah, pretty much.
When it comes to songwriting, right? Like, who is the lyrical person and who is the melody person? If that there is such a a distinction between the songwriting process with Sadlands.
Um, Honestly, I don't know. I feel like Jess and I, like when we write songs, we write our own lyrics and melodies separately, and then we like pitch a whole song to each other. I feel like Jess has so many awesome melodies, and she even like writes melodies into the solos that she writes on guitar. But and I really love her lyrics too. But yeah, I guess we separately write lyrics and melodies, but I feel like we both do it. Yeah.
I kind of pegged you as the melody person upon first listen,
Oh yeah.
because I answering machines, so the earworms there, right? But then I spend a lot of time with these EP. I'm thinking, wait a minute, has to be some sort of tag team effort. Um, so when it comes to like some of the lyrics on this EP, right? And two of my favorite songs on it, "Flowers" and "With Friends Like These." There are
Mhm.
certain refrains on these two songs that I want your thoughts on. Maybe you can elaborate on them.
Yeah.
Um, in "Flowers," you sing "Coming home to your flowers." Now that's such a simple little refrain, but since you repeat it so much, it's got to have some sort of weight or significance to it.
Yeah. Well, I kind of wrote it because it's about, you know, it's about love, of course. And I wrote the song because it was about like loving somebody that really struggles to open up. So they like, they give you flowers, they give you like all these things, but they don't open up emotionally, and so it's hard. It's about, yeah. Um, so I wrote that song, and it's like coming home to your flowers, but you're still sitting up in your tower, so you're still like kind of like locked away.
Yes,
That's kind of what the basis of the song is. It's like, just needing more of that connection with the person.
definitely feel that. And then you say you'll walk me home. Oh,
Mhm.
that says everything. It's powerful stuff. I mean, it's stuff that you can, like as you said, people can scream that, they can connect to that. It's one of those songs, and
Yeah.
it's really great and very touching in that way.
Thank
And
you.
it's so infectious. Just hearing it before listening to it, it just grabs you right away. And did you wrote that, right?
Yeah,
Is that all you said?
that
Okay,
one.
all right.
Yeah,
And I think Jess probably did the next one. I think
you
Jess probably
did.
did with Friends Like These, right? And she says, I'm sick of trying not to give up before I get let down. And that is just
I know.
fantastic.
When she was recording it, I was like getting teary eyed because I'm like, I get it.
Yes.
Like,
I was rewinding. I'm like, wow, this is it. I really feel this. Like I love music that really just kind of just stick to you. And even though it just wrote this, is there any insight you can offer to those lyrics?
um, I mean, I don't know because it's such a personal song from Jess, but I think I just love like, she's saying like I'm always let down. Like she's just getting her hopes up for something, and then, you know, when you're getting let down, you kind of want to give up. And I don't know. I think it's just getting past some old feelings, some old things that you've been hurt by, and then like wanting new things to come along, and then waiting for them and just getting frustrated by it.
So you as a songwriter, are you writing songs from a personal perspective, or are you writing songs to help people in general with whatever is going on with your life?
I think it honestly it depends on the song. Flowers is a very personal song. Um, but like McClellan is on the EP, I wrote that a million years ago. I actually wrote that in college and just never really did anything with it. It was kind of sitting there. And I used to live in this house on this street called McClellan Street up at UMass. And the house was like falling apart. So I'm like describing the house, and then I'm describing like being in a car that's falling apart. And those were personal experiences that I remembered and I wrote about. But like I pulled that like out of the cobwebs, and then I was really excited because I felt like I wasn't going to do anything with that song for so long. And when we were originally writing songs, like our first few practices, I said, I have this song we could try to do something with. And then, Harley, Lewis, and Jess just like put all these really cool things into it. Harley has a great way of just changing like dynamics in the song, and just adding like the coolest drum parts. And he really made McClellan like come to life. He made all of the songs come to life, and Lewis too. Like, it's really awesome. And then I really love on McClellan the part that Jess plays as well. Like she has this really like melodic part that's like underneath the vocals, so it's cool.
Yeah, like all these songs just have like a raw sweetness to it.
Yeah,
And of course, there's sadness there, but it's not like sad like, oh, you want to get depressed. Sad like, oh, this really kind of touches me right here. It kind of brings out some emotion.
yeah. It's like it's a lot of bittersweet feelings.
Yes,
Just
yeah,
like going through those bittersweet feelings, I think.
yeah. When it comes to arrangement, right? Maybe this is just me just listening, but maybe you can offer your insight. I noticed that After Tonight kind of just blends right into Flowers. Was that on purpose?
We made that decision later on, I believe. We just felt, I think that was Jess that suggested that we would just kind of blend it together because they meshed well. So it was cool.
Yeah, it sounded great because I don't know, because when I first heard it, I was listening to it on the cassette. And I noticed some cassettes, when you listen to a song, it just kind of goes. It's not like when you're listening to it digitally, like track one ends and then track two begins. You notice the cutoff, and it
Yeah.
just kind of just blends right in. I don't know if that was like on purpose or just like a cassette thing, you know?
I think, yeah, we decided that later. And, because we start flowers with like just like palm muting. So it was cool to kind of blend it together.
Yeah. When it comes to your musical projects, Sadlands and etc., do you look at these projects as just passion projects, just doing it for the love, or do you eventually want to make either Sadlands or any other musical creative project like your full-time job?
Um, I've thought about this so much, but I love my job as a teacher. I think that I need them both for balance. I think I need to be teaching, of course, because that's like my career path, and it's also a very secure career path with like a pension. But then there's also you know you work like teaching is so mentally and physically exhausting and emotionally exhausting as well, that music is a huge outlet. So without music, I wouldn't be able to be a good teacher. I wouldn't be able to have that outlet, and like have that place to put a lot of creativity. So I think that I have somehow mastered the balance at this point where I can like play music and teach. Um, so I don't like I hope to just continue to do both and grow grow them as much as I can.
I think that's a wonderful answer, because I think both, like teaching and in playing your music, can both have like a slow burn in their like fulfillment and impact, because I'm just starting to realize all of the things that my teachers did that had an effect on me now. And when I'm listening to music, like songs or albums I've been listening to years, I'm listening to it now, I'm like, whoa, like this really made a big deal. Like it's a big deal in my life. I feel the same way. Like it's almost like, it's interesting that you have like these two passions that are happening at the same time. It's not like, oh, I want to be a rock star. No, I'm a teacher and I love music. you know?
Yeah. It's kind of fun. It kind of feels like I'm living a little bit of a double life. Like but and I'm lucky to be able to do both.
Yeah,
So
it's great.
yeah.
I love that. Because now it's very hard to like, oh, you put out one thing and then, oh, you get signed and, oh, you're a millionaire now. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
No,
But
it
who cares?
doesn't.
As long as like the music's there. And but the one thing, like, I'm curious about, like, you have these two passions, right? And you have teaching and then music. When you go on these tours, like I know you did a little thing over the
Mhm.
summer, how do you like balance that? Do you tour only in the summer, or what?
Well, honestly, that was my first tour. Answering Machine never really got a chance to do it. So when we put out our full length album, it was like April 2020. We had planned to tour that summer, but COVID put a damper on everything in the world.
Yeah.
So that was my first tour. And that's one thing about being a teacher, I have that time off in the summer. So that's the best time for us to tour. We have a lot of vacation, we have like weeks off throughout the year. So I feel like it's one of the best professions to have in order to be able to do tours and things like that.
And I've had teachers that have had creative endeavors on the side. You know what I mean? Like a
Mhm.
lot of them never shared it, but I had one teacher sort of like hint in college, like, oh, I have a band on the side, but never like broadcasted it. So I think it's. Do you tell your students that you're in a that you have a that you're a musician?
Yes, I do. I think it's really cool. I think it's really important to show them that like you can have all these passions and you can love things. Like I really want them to find their passions and fall in love with what they want to do. So, and I've noticed that when you really love something as a teacher and the students like see that, it like inspires them to really have their own passions and believe that they can do anything. So I guess I don't know. I guess I tell them about it, but I will not tell them my band name. I will not show them anything that they can like Google me because I don't want that attention. I kind of keep it separate, but I have showed them videos of stuff before. And I've been singing since I was, in high school. So I have like videos of like, I was like in an opera in college, like a student run production, and I'll show them that. It's cool to show them parts of your life.
Yeah, and that's how like they'll connect with you and stuff like
Yeah.
that, which I think it's great. Like when I found out like my teachers do certain things, like it was like a little bonding experience. Like I had one teacher was telling like knew that I like video games, and he starts telling me about the video games that he starts playing. I
Yeah.
think it's cool that to have that. You know what I mean? So with Sadlands, do you guys have any uh, EPs, more one-off singles, full-length albums in the works, or what?
I think we're writing right now. We have a new song that we like in the works that I wrote like last year. And I'm really excited to share it. And I think like we're just going to start writing now. And we'll see, hopefully we'll be able to get enough for a full length. That's the goal, I think, like the next step. And then we can put out a full length album. I'd love to get it pressed on vinyl, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be
um,
good.
yeah, so that's the goal, and just to keep playing more shows, and maybe hopefully like another tour thrown in there would be really fun.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, Sam, thank you so much for coming back to My Little Underground and talking up the new Sadlands EP. That's absolutely phenomenal. So, where can people listen to it, purchase it, or buy one of these fancy T-shirts that I'm wearing right now?
Well, you can come to our shows. We have a show on December 9th. It's actually with Cold Rex. Cold Rex always puts on this really awesome like winter show called Matonica. And it's because one of their members is called his name is Matan.
Okay,
And
that's cool.
we're going to be playing with Good Looking Friends at Trans Picos. I'm trying to like remember all the details on December 9th. And Craig texted me everything. Proceeds will benefit the Southern Trans Youth Emergency Project, which is really awesome. And it's going to be really fun.
All right.
Definitely have
Socials?
my shirt there.
Yeah. Where can people follow Sadlands? How like what are your handles?
You can follow us at sadlands.bandcamp.com, and our music's on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And you can follow us on Instagram, and our handle is, hold on, I think it's Sadlands Brooklyn. I forget my own handle. Give me a sec.
Do you run the Sadlands socials?
I should. It's Sadlands_band. I do. Jess
Okay.
and I kind of tandem it, but I feel like Jess is better at it than I am.
Oh, that's so good. Sam, thank you so much once again for coming on the show. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
My Little Underground.